Today you are going to organize all of your sources that you use to write this biography. In formal pieces of writing, the authors always give credit to any other books or websites or encyclopedias, any sources they use to gather information to help them write their piece. And they put all of this information in a section called the Bibliography. So you might have talked about this already with your teacher in class. Let's take a look at an example of what a bibliography looks like. So here is a biography on Neil Armstrong. And here at the very end, page 13, you'll see that the actual biography itself is on the previous pages. But at the very end, the author has listed out the sources that he or she used to create this piece on Neil Armstrong. So all the other sources that they looked to learn about the topic. So let's take a look first. The author has listed a few books. One is called Neil Armstrong, The Later Years, and the other is called Neil Armstrong, Man on the Moon. So take a minute to look at which words are capitalized in the title and how is the title punctuated. So obviously the name Neil and Armstrong capitalized. We always capitalize proper nouns' names. And then you'll notice that the rest of the words are capitalized in the title too, except you'll notice that on and the are not capitalized in the second title. Take a minute to think about why that might be. On and the are prepositions or articles. They're not super important words in the title. So you'll always want to capitalize any nouns in the title, the first and last word of the title, and then any names. But smaller words like on or the don't need to be capitalized. If you're not sure, look at the actual book that you got your information from and copy down the way that author wrote the title. You'll also notice that the titles are underlined. When you're writing a bibliography, you show that it's the title of the book by underlining it. Before you even see the title of the book, though, you'll notice something else. Fleming, Thomas, McCarthy, Michael. Think to yourself right now, who are these people? What are these names? If you thought that these were the author of the books, you are right. The author of the book always comes first. It's like you're giving credit to the other writers that you learned from. Their last name first, then a comma, and then their first name, followed by a period. Then you've got the title. And then there's some information at the end listed as well. Chicago, Houghton Mifflin, 2000. What do these parts mean? Chicago would be the place that this book was published. Houghton Mifflin is the company that published the book. And 2000 is the year that it was published. So this other resource here has the same pattern. The author, the title, the place the book was published, the publishing company, and then the date. So as you're recording the information about your books that you consulted, make sure you follow the same structure. If you don't have access to this example bibliography, when you're going back to your slides to type on slide 49, come back to this video and just pause it right here so that you can remember the structure and the order that you're going to list the information in. You might also have consulted an encyclopedia. Encyclopedias are a little bit different than books because there's a lot of information in the encyclopedias on a variety of topics. So the bibliography, it makes sense that that's formatted a little bit differently. It starts the same. You've got the author's last name, comma, and the author's first name. But then we've got something in quotation marks, Armstrong, comma, Neil, followed by what looks to probably be the title of the encyclopedia since it's underlined, World Book Encyclopedia. So this here is the subject or the title of the section of the encyclopedia that this person looked at. And then we've got information on which edition and the year that the encyclopedia was published. So again, if you have an encyclopedia as a source, you're going to write that down on slide 49 under encyclopedias, and feel free to come back to this video and pause it right here so that you can remind yourself of the structure for that bibliography. And lastly, one that you might have used a lot would be websites for your sources. So if you included any websites or used those to learn about your topic for your biography, you're going to want to write down any websites you used right here. So let's take a look at the format you should use. For a website, you're going to start with the title of the website, Neil Armstrong Historic Information. And then you're going to have a date here, January 15th, 2021. This is actually the date that you accessed the information. So whenever you were reading it, you're going to put that down here. The reason why we include that is because unlike books and encyclopedias that are published once and they kind of stay that way forever, websites are constantly changing. So if you check it one day, it could be slightly different the next day because it's always something that gets updated. So that's why the date's important. And then you'll put the name of the website. So in this case, the name of the website is bibliography.com, followed by the actual URL. So the URL is always found up here. You would just copy and paste it onto your bibliography. So that's it. After this, a timer is going to play to help you manage your time. But remember, you can always pause the video right here so that you have the examples to refer back to as you put your information on slide 49.